I'm Andy Parkin, Managing Director of the multi-award-winning Speed Screed. I'm here today to answer a question that we're often asked, and that is how to make screed mix. So that is something that we do day in, day out, and is quite, or becomes quite a simple procedure. But there needs to be lots of quality systems in place to make sure that it's actually done correctly. But we'll talk about the fundamentals of how you should mix a traditional mix. There are many types of screed on the market today, and it would really take a long time to run through every mix, identifying how they should actually be mixed and in what proportions. So I will just concentrate on a traditional sand and cement, so a 1:4 fibre screed, which is the most used screed in the UK. So we're going to concentrate on that. So first of all, I think you've got to start with what can you mix in. Now, really, you've got kind of a couple of options, really. You need a forced action mixer. So it's got to be a paddle mixer. You can't mix free fall. That won't give you the consistency. It'll ball. You can't mix by hand. So onto a board with a shovel and mix it like that. They're not going to give you the consistency and quality that you actually need. So you've got to use a forced action paddle mixer. So that you can use a small electric unit, or sometimes a diesel. Generally, what you'll see, certainly site-based, is a screed pump. So if you're looking at a screed pump, you've got a forced action mixer within the unit. It mixes the screed, and then you press the button and it will deliver and pump into place. So that's a forced action screed pump. If we were to look at the ratio that we're going to work to, so we're looking at 1 part cement to 4 parts sand, and that's by weight. So it's the mix ratio. So we start first of all by adding. So we're looking at the mixers. So the mixers are broken down into manageable sizes. So you're looking at a screed pump. Typically, you're looking around about 240 kilograms of material per mix. So you'd start by adding half of the required sand into the forced action mixer. The sand should comply with the correct grading as defined by the British standard. So it's very important that it's not too fine, not too coarse, that the grading gap is fully covered. And so you need to look for a good quality sand that doesn't have silt, doesn't have things like lignite in. So you've got half the sand in the vessel, and then you would add the required water. So you need to examine the moisture that's currently in the sand. So if you're in the middle of summer and the sand is absolutely bone dry, you're going to need more water than in the winter when the sand is holding lots of moisture. So that needs to be defined beforehand as to what the requirement of the water is. So when you've got the water, you would then add the polypropylene fibres into the water. So polypropylene fibres, we would always recommend using them. They minimise shrinkage cracking. That doesn't negate the need for jointing the screed with stress relief joints, but we would always recommend that you put the polypropylene fibres in there. The dosage is going to be 900 grams per cubic metre. So you've got your water ready. So what you do then is you would add the required cement. So you put your cement in based on the 1:4 ratio, and then you would then proceed to add the water to the mix. At this point, if you do have any other admixtures, so you can change the properties of the screed by adding the admixtures at this point as well. So that might be to make it fast drying, it might be to make it a rapid strength screed. So you'd put the admixtures in at this point as well. So when you've got all that in, so you've got your cement in, any admixtures, you've got your water in, you've got your fibres in, you would then add the balance of the sand. So the balance of the sand goes on top, and then you start the mixer. So you mix the screed thoroughly, so it needs to be, you need to ensure that it is thoroughly mixed, because any pockets of sand is going to be a weakness within the screed and possibly cause a failure. So you need to make sure everything's mixed thoroughly, the water's mixed thoroughly. You want a good distribution of the polypropylene fibres as well throughout the mix. So when that's completed, your screed is good to go. So you're ready to pump it in place, or if it's in a sort of small mixer, you may put it into a wheelbarrow and wheelbarrow it into place and place it at that point. So I hope that's been helpful, just to run through the how to mix a screed. Okay, if you've any further questions, please let me know and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.